Hey everyone, my name is Jangle and welcome back to a brand new video here at the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the BioShock movie that is coming to us from Netflix. It has got an update. Of course, this week is Comic-Con week, so we are focusing on everything to do with Comic-Con. Comic-Con kicked off yesterday. We've had a couple of announcements pop up on the channel regarding Wolverine's future in the MCU, what that's going to look like. We've had some awesome other Comic-Con related things that came out today that I will be covering. But this one is from Collider, and it just grabbed my attention instantly, and I thought this has got to be the first video I do today because it's something that I haven't heard of up until I found this article. So yes, Netflix BioShock movie. That's what it is. It comes from Collider. Let's look at it. BioShock the movie. Netflix BioShock movie gets an epic update from its producer. At Collider's producers on producing panel at this year's San Diego Comic-Con, Steve Winterborough made time to ask producer Roy Lee about the Netflix upcoming adaptation of BioShock, which is said to be directed by Francis Lawrence. The BioShock project has been in the pipeline for quite some time, with many speculating about just why so much time had to be taken and rumours spreading about reasons to cause potential delays. Lee finally shed some light on the topic, citing a changing of the guard at the streamer as the pivotal point in BioShock's slow production, explaining that it had been reconfigured. He went on to say, "It was originally done with the previous regime. The new regime has lowered the budget on some things, so we're doing a much smaller version of the movie, but it's eventually going to get made with Francis Lawrence directing." Winterborough attempted to get Lee to reveal more about the project, nothing that it could do more to push boundaries with a lower budget, to which Lee Collier replied, "It's going to be on a more personal point of view as opposed to a grander, big, epic movie." Okay. What will the BioShock movie be about? Right. Although information regarding the explicit plot details is currently few and far between, it is expected that the upcoming BioShock movie will follow the main plot of the first game, despite seeming futuristic. BioShock is actually set in the alternate version of the 1960s, in a fictional underwater city of Rapture. The game follows Jack Winder, a man who survives a plane crash into the ocean and comes across the across the aforementioned city, or at least the derelict abandonment it once was. With only one course for survival, Jack builds Rapture a safe haven from the nuclear threat to the Cold War. Right. Netflix is no stranger to video game adaptations, with the most notable coming in the form of The Witcher, juggling homage to different mediums efforts, as well as crafting a refreshing viewing experience. It is no small task, but with Netflix experience in their back pocket, fans of BioShock should rest assured that the very best will be at work to pay respect to the iconic original video game. And then, of course, it says stay tuned to Collider for more updates, as well as plenty of other San Diego Comic-Con content. Now, here's my viewpoint, okay? Here's my view. BioShock the movie is taking forever, okay? It now has a lower budget. I like the idea of this. I would like a grand, big budget movie, but I did a video yesterday explaining why that maybe shouldn't happen and why movies need to lower their budgets. And I'm glad this movie is. This movie is a streaming movie on Netflix, right? Netflix have some very good track records in TV adaptations, right? Some of their movies, however, have been quite lackluster. We've had some really amazing movies from them, don't get me wrong. But if you look at Netflix as a whole as a company, they've had a lot more mediocre, semi-okay movies than big blockbuster hits. One of the recent movies I can think of that was not really a blockbuster hit, because it gets compared to the original, but in my opinion it is Beverly Hills Cop's Axel F. That is what I'd call a blockbuster hit for Netflix. Now, you've had Red Notice, which is a blockbuster hit for Netflix. But you've also had movies like Red Blood Sky, whatever that movie was. It was the vampire film. I watched that when it released, and it was alright. But they have some movies that are very lackluster, don't really hit the mark with viewers. Some of their TV shows, you know, they do a lot of shows where you watch them and you think, oh, you really get into it, and then they just cancel it, or just the ending's not the same. There's a couple of shows I've watched on Netflix, like House of Cards, one of the best shows Netflix has ever done. Right? It was the first ever original streaming show ever to be made. Okay? Set the boundaries. You've got Shooter, which was great. Designated Survivor, which was great. I'm not taking away from that. The Witcher, which is fantastic. I'm not taking away from all of them. But Netflix has had this issue of movies being really good, really bad, really good, really bad, along with TV shows. Lowering the budget is smart, because the same thing could happen here. BioShock, I would say, is quite niche. We've had remasters, right? We've had BioShock 1 and 2 remasters for PS4, but we haven't had a BioShock game in years, right? The last original BioShock game released on the PS3. BioShock 1 and 2 are both PS3 exclusives, so you're alienating people who don't play PlayStation, people who don't know BioShock, right? There's going to be a lot of people who have Netflix who go, oh, don't know BioShock, I'll check, oh, I don't like it. There's going to be a lot of that, because it's very niche, because it only ever released on one console, so it doesn't have a mass following like The Witcher does, where they've got books, they've got video games, they've got, you know, it doesn't have that kind of following. You could be like, well, Uncharted did really well. Yes, but Uncharted is one of the biggest IPs that Sony have. BioShock has been dead for God knows how many years. We've got remasters. You know, I love the BioShock games. Don't get me wrong. I love the games. But it's that little thing that I think we need to start looking into with this. Is a lower budget is good. It's good to hear the movies continuing on. It's a shame we're not getting this big epic of a movie, but at least we're getting something in that universe. Another video game movie that's currently, you know, being made, being spoken about at the moment is your Borderlands that releases soon. So, looking at BioShock, the movie, it's a good thing that they're looking at lower budgets. Netflix, of course, has just gone low budgets for everything now, because they've started, I assume, they've started to lose money. Movies aren't doing as well as they thought they would. And a lot of things haven't happened the way they wanted them to. So, what can you really expect? Well, I'd expect this film to be released some point next year or the year after. That's what I expect. I'd also be... I'm going to be more on the reserved side. They've done fantastic stuff. The Witch is brilliant. But video game adaptations as a whole, like in a whole genre, it is so hard to crack. It is. We've had so many video game adaptations that have just bombed. You know, Tomb Raiders, right? We've had the Tomb Raider games. I think they did the two with Angelina Jolie. Them two, really good films, but they weren't well. They were well received, but they didn't do well at box office, I believe. Tomb Raider the reboot, nothing. Nothing ever came for a Tomb Raider 2. Nothing. They're now doing a TV show. Assassin's Creed, again, movie really terrible. Going into streaming TV. I can see video games adaptations working for streaming TV shows. I can't see it being for movies, because for movies to happen, you have to have your core audience there. I think Uncharted was very lucky that it didn't get caught up in that video game adaptation, rough, bad adaptation. Because it decided that it was going to use the name Uncharted, it was going to use the characters, but it wasn't going to follow the games. So it was an original movie. It was an origin to the character, which made people who didn't like Uncharted, the video game, who didn't even know, who didn't play the games, be able to step into this universe, this world, and be like, oh, cool, this is cool. It's an Indiana Jones thing. My cousin hated Uncharted, the video games. Hated them. I don't know why. They just weren't his thing. However, he loved the movie. And he's excited for the second one. It's just the way that things are perceived. And, you know, there's some people's perceptions on things that are different to others. BioShock the movie could be really good. But it being a Netflix movie, it being on a lower budget, really good things. Netflix movie could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. You just don't know. You don't know. So, I'm basically going to just wait to hear more on this. But I wanted to do this video because I thought it was a very fun video to do. So, with that being said, leave me a comment down below. What's your thoughts on the BioShock movie? Are you happy about this news? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think this movie's going to be an absolute success? Or do you think I'm right that, you know, Netflix have had hits and flops and this one could be a flop or a hit? I'm in the middle with this one at the moment. Let me know your thoughts. Smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, because a lot of you are returning viewers, I found out, and you're just not subscribing to the channel. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's something that you guys, you know, if you guys subscribe and you guys like, look, we want this sort of content, I will happily do that type of content for you. I want to create a space where we can talk about movies, talk about news articles like this, whilst also doing other things. Of course, at the moment, I've been very restricted in what I've been able to do, purely because I've not had the time to go and see movie galore or new movies. Deadpool and Wolverine, a movie I'm seeing on Monday, I probably will do a little review for, but I'm not going to make it a big thing here because reviews will already be out and people's opinions are already set on the movie by that point. But I will be doing a little review here. I am a review channel. I have some other videos that I want to do. The Instigators movie, I'm going to do that as a review. That releases August 9th, I think, on Apple TV here in the UK. Released as a limited theatrical release. So I'm going to be doing reviews like that. But at the moment, we are just focusing on San Diego Comic-Con news, movie news. And there's a lot to talk about within movies. And that's kind of what I wanted to do. Just talk about different type of movies and just build on the channel being a movie channel. I want to be, you know, hitting certain numbers for this channel just from my own personal growth. I've been a massive fan of YouTube, done like content creation for many years, but this time I'm older now and I know algorithms. I can sit and I can work on it a lot more than I could when I was a kid. So let me know your thoughts. What are your thoughts on the movie? What do you guys want to see from the channel? Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave me a comment, and I'll see you on the next one. And as always, stay cinematic.